Hello everybody and welcome to episode 24 of Shelf Review, and okay, today we'll be going over Demon Souls. I just got done with it. I played the remake on PS5. I had it for a couple of years, and I was like, okay, I'm finally gonna check this out, because I was watching some videos by the Internet Pit Stop, and I was like, hey, I kind of want to get into this. So I watched some of his videos on the atmosphere of Soulsborne games, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to check this out. So I was like, I'll check out the first game. So I've had it for a while now. So I just want to check it out because I got it through PS Plus here a while back. But yeah, I entered it and I was interested in the little introductory scene. I was like, hey, this is a pretty cool world. And walked into the gates of Boletaria and did my thing and just went through with the game. Now, the story just kind of follows a broken world in which these 6 leaders have fallen, and the old one who they originally fought, Sealed, has come back and is now wreaking chaos across these 5 realms. And so it's kind of divided into levels. So the Demon Souls world, you have 5 Arc Stones. The Arc Stones are the worlds, and you go into the worlds, and they represent the 5 realms of the different people, the different leaders at the time who originally fought the old one. And you have 4 levels per each of those, and you have a 5th level in Boletaria for the first Arcstone. But yeah, so that's kind of how it's set up. I've only played Dark Souls, a bit of Dark Souls, a bit of Elden Ring, and Demon Souls now. And it's set up very differently to those because those are kind of, Dark Souls is more linear and Elden Ring's open world, as you know. But yeah, so got into Demon Souls and just kind of playing around. And in Boletaria, and specifically on world level 1-2, you meet this guy. His name's Ostrava. You end up saving him from a little dungeon area that's at the beginning portion of 1-2. Now, I was like, Ostrava, this goofy dude, I like him, he's cool and all that. But, yeah, it just kind of progressed along. You save him multiple other times. You save him in, I believe it's 1-3. You save him elsewhere, too. I don't remember exactly where it is. But, yeah, you end up saving Ostrava, who is probably, I'd say he's probably my favorite character in the whole of Demon Souls. But, yeah, Ostrava. And, well, you end up saving Ostrava, and then eventually you save him at 1-3, and then once you get to 1-4, you're progressing through, and then you get to about the area where the boss is, to this elevator. And this almost got me, guys. You walk up, and Ostrava's like, I wasn't able to save my dad nor the king, and he dies right there. I was not expecting Ostrava to die. Like, that hurt. But you know what hurt worse? You progress along, and his blood phantom's there. You have to kill Ostrava all over again, but it's his phantom version. So it was a lot easier to do. But, that got me. So when I ended up getting to that boss of that world, who's essentially the final boss of the game, King Allant, I didn't care. I was mad at bro. So, I was invigorated to beat him. And it was just like, whoa. Because, Allant was hard. Allant is probably the hardest boss in the whole game. Because, he's the final boss. But I kept pushing because I was like, bro, he murked Ostrava. So, yeah, that was a phenomenal, grasping character. I was not expecting Ostrava to die, and then when he did, I was like, whoa, that kind of got me, because, I thought he was going to get his goal and all that, get along, and it just didn't end up happening. And it hurt, like I said, it hurt even worse that you had to fight his blood phantom, or black phantom, whatever they're called. Those black phantoms, though, I hate those things, because, alright, so how Demon Souls works is you have tendencies, and I believe it's the only, Souls game where you do have tendencies. And a tendency is, when you're in your physical form, like your body, you get light tendency, or pure white, eventually. And if you are using just your soul form, you get black. And if you die multiple times in your corporeal form, you get pure black. I hate pure black tendency. So, the reason I hate pure black tendency is because early on in the game, when I was in 1-2, trying to get to Tower Knight, because Tower Knight was my biggest op this entire game, I ran that bridge where the dragon's blowing, because the dragon follows you the entire time, and it blows flames at your back, so you gotta skedaddle, go. And I just took me so many times, I finally get to the end, and I'm fighting the Blue Knights there, and you know who pulls up out of nowhere? 2 Black Phantom Blue Knights. Now, Black Phantoms are far more powerful than your regular, because the Blue Knights at that time were already hard. Now, they become chump change later on, but, at the time, they were hard. And then the Blood Knights, or the Blood Phantoms, or Black Phantoms, whatever they're called, come out of nowhere. This game punishes you for being bad at the game and not knowing the mechanics. I'm so glad I learned what caused pure black tendency at the beginning, because I was like, oh my god, I'm going to despise this game. But no, okay, I just figured out I don't need to be going to my corporeal form ever unless I'm going to get a pure white tendency run. And yeah, but yeah, it took me so long to finally get to Tower Knight. When I got to Tower Knight, I beat him like 2 tries. But yeah, I hate them. But yeah, like I said, King Allant was another really cool one because I wasn't expecting Allant to have been the one who brought the old one back into power, essentially, because Allant, kind of through a nihilistic viewpoint, ended up turning back to darkness. He was one of the 5 leaders originally, or I believe it's 6, but there's only 5 Arcstones. But he was one of the leaders who originally fought the old one, and he's the final boss. He joined with the old one because he kind of had a doomerist view of the world. But yeah, you progress along and you fight him, and then I guess toward the later portions of the game, you end up going, well, after you beat Allant, you end up going back to the Nexus, and the Maiden in Black is there, and she's like, the old one is here, and we go under the Nexus, and you see the old one, and she's like, I brought you a new demon soul, and I'm like, the Maiden in Black was a traitor? Because, I mean, I'd grown to like the Maiden in Black. The Maiden in Black, she's like, she felt like a companion, even though she had very few voice lines. She had like a little at the beginning, and then once you ran through those, it was just the same one over and over again. She's talking about how she kept the candles lit in the Nexus. The Nexus is kind of the hope world where, where the Arcstones are. You got some NPCs around there. Eventually, you get more and more the more people you rescue. Like, that's one thing that really hurt too. Ostrava, he's there until he dies, and Ostrava's no longer in the Nexus, not even his soul. But, yeah, so you see the Maiden in Black, and she ends up opening the Nexus, and you go down there, she's like, I brought you a demon soul. I'm like, she's come here to turn me into a demon. And she ends up entering, and you go in, and you see like this little maggot corpse looking thing, and it's the true form of King Allant, because King Allant that you fight in Boletaria is just a kind of phantom of his actual self. And so you go in there, you fight it, it's really easy. It's technically the final boss, but it's not really the final boss, if you might get what I'm saying, because it's super easy. But you end up killing him, and then the Maiden in Black is like, alright, I'm going to seal off the old one again. So I was like, okay, she didn't betray us. So then after you know she didn't betray you again, she seals it off, and you get sent back to the Nexus. And when you're in the Nexus, you get this little icon in the top corner that you got an item. The Maiden in Black's Demon Soul. That kind of hurt, because I was like, dang, she died? But yeah, you get the Maiden in Black Soul. But she doesn't really die, because like then she's back at the Nexus, so I don't know if she dies or if you just get her soul, so she's soulless now or something like that. Maybe she's like you when you're not in your corporeal form. I don't know. But you're in your soul form when you're not in your corporeal. But yeah, that was really sad. So yeah, after going over the story beats, I guess I'll go over more of the levels. But World 5 and World 3. 3-1, I hated that. I hated the deck. I think they're called Mind Flayers. They look like Cthulhu beings. And they grab you, like they paralyze you, and then they stab you. And it's it's not terrifying, but it sucks because they do so much damage, and you can't break from them really easy. So like, I was playing a melee. I was playing as a knight. And, like, I was making sure I was super low. I was grinding and all that, because I know how hard these games can be, so I was really grinding and all that. I ended up being, like, level, I'd say around 110 when I beat Allant finally. But, because Allant didn't take me many tries. I think it took me, like, 5 at most. But that's because I was super over-leveled and my sword was maxed out and all that. But I still found it really fun. And, yeah, I hated those. And World 5, I specifically hated 5-2 because I kept trying to go and like destroy the slug spawner area, and every time I go to stab it, I would just fall. So eventually I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use arrows. I used the arrows, and it ended up being good. But yeah, I think if I were to say my favorite boss out of the whole game, like design-wise, it'd probably be the Old Warrior, who's the boss of 4-3, because bro just has a sick design. It's so cool. Now, Allant has a cool design too. And overall, I think the world that has the best, at least coolest bosses, I would probably say is World 2, because they got like a dragon, they got this big imp thing, so it's really, really cool. And they got like it kind of reminded me of Quelaag from Dark Souls 1, the big witch spider queen, because it was just a fire-spitting spider too, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, that's the kind of my favorites. And yeah, what was I going to say? But, oh yeah, World 4, that first part, like with the revenants, they're skeletons, and those skeletons were so tedious. They made me so mad. But they did not make me mad as those daggone manta rays in the sky. Oh, brother, those things are so annoying. They shoot little green crystals at you, and they're homing, so you can barely dodge them. And then, like, when you're trying to get to the boss, who's the adjudicator, in 4-1, you gotta go past these gold skeletons with massive cleavers, and they obliterate your stamina and your health. So yeah, they are absolute ops. I hated those skeletons, but yeah, like golly. And then the Revenants, not the Revenants, the Reapers. The Reapers were phenomenal for grinding, like early game. I grinded that Reaper at the beginning of 4.2 so much early on. And because World 4 is the best world for grinding. But once you keep progressing along and you get where you can't instantly shoot the Reapers, oh, brother, those things are annoying because they do big damage and they spawn like these little like wraith things and they do pretty decent damage too. But yeah, but once you get to 4-4, like 4-4's final boss wasn't really hard. It just went a big manta race, but you're given a specific sword. It's like a Stormbringer sword or something like that, and you like essentially like, throw wind at them when you cut them. So it's pretty easy, and it's honestly kind of a fun gimmicky fight. But yeah, after that though, I loved it because I had phenomenal grinding spot. It was so good because you just, like wipe them out of the sky, and you get like, if you have the extra souls ring on, you get like 20,000 souls per run, and they're fast runs too. Like they're, I believe sometimes you can get sub 1 minute. It just really depends on your aim with the blade. But yeah, that was sick. The grinding for souls. But I just also love about Souls games is the little like messages on the ground. I always kept seeing Umbasa, and I was like, what does Umbasa mean? And then I eventually ended up finding Saint Urbain in 4.2's little prison after saving him, and after meeting with Dagum Hyena. But yeah, I like saving Saint Urbain, and I kept saying Umbasa when I was around too. So it was just really cool to get like kind of connect with people that way, even though I wasn't directly playing with them. But yeah, with that, I mean that's really all I have to say. Like it was just a phenomenal game. I loved it. I wasn't expecting to love it that much. Like I've played Elden Ring, I played Dark Souls. Dark Souls kind of grabbed me a little bit more than Elden Ring did. But like I still really enjoyed them, but I just never stuck with them. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stick with with a Soulsborne here, and because I mean I own all of them, I have every single one. I just haven't played much of them because I mean they're really cool games. I want to play them, I just never really do. And I played it, and I was like, hey, this is a phenomenal game, especially the ending because it'll grab you emotionally. It's though there's not much dialogue or not much, I guess, information really. There's story and there's emotion and there's character. So that was really enjoyable. I loved it. That was probably some of the best 30 hours I've ever spent in game. That's the thing too. It only took me 30 hours to beat, and like that's my first ever Souls game to completion. So yeah, I mean, anyone who is looking to get into it, I say do Demon Souls. Demon Souls is not too hard. You'll have some trouble probably with Alant, and you'll have some trouble with the Penetrator. I hated the Penetrator because that daggone, the 3 like red knights before you got to him to wipe them out, it took forever because I had to aggro them out with arrows and they'd pull out. But yeah, the Penetrator, he was annoying because he just breaks through your shield and all that because he penetrates. But yeah, I believe that's all I have to say really about Demon Souls. I know it's not too elaborate, but I was very passionate, and I can probably tell by the passion I was giving when I was speaking about it that I really love the game, and I'm so glad I decided to try it out. But yeah, thank you very much for watching episode 24 of Shelf Review, and I think that's all from me.